More blessing. Bye-bye.
Good morning, everyone. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, West London chapter morning program. And we've been singing the wonderful songs of our Guru Varga, and we're going to continue with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, 4th chapter of the Adi Leela, which is beyond imagination, actually. It's the internal reasons for the Lord's appearance, the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we've heard so many amazing shlokas from the Bhagavatam, from Vidagdha Madhava, from Lalita Madhava, from Ujjvala Nilamani, from the Vishnu Purana, from another Purana which I can't remember right now, Adi Purana, to that Krishnadas Kaviraj is quoting to back up what he's saying from Shastra. And he told us a little while ago that there were 3 principal internal reasons for the Lord's appearance in the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and we've heard 2 of them so far. So, Nanda Swarupini, can you remember both or one?
Internal.
Yes.
To taste the rasa of Shrimati.
Yeah, the first reason, very good, is to taste her love, specifically her love. He said, how can I taste this without being in that abode of love? So to taste her love for him, number 1, that terra incognita. And then the second one is, we've heard these wonderful shlokas of Krishna seeing himself in the fountain. In Dwarka, he sees himself in the fountain, and he's like astonished and amazed. Like the beauty of Krishna astonishes even him. So the second reason, Lord Krishna's Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Goranga Radha Giridhari Ju. Lord Krishna's own beauty attracts Lord Krishna himself, but because he cannot fully enjoy it, his mind remains full of sorrow. So he wants to relish himself from the position of his own beauty, to taste his own beauty. Yes. Okay, so now we're on verse 159. And we'll continue. Eta dvitiya hetura kaila vivaran, tritya hetura ebe shunaha lakshan. This is a description of the second desire, to see his own beauty. Now please listen as I describe the third. Atyanta niguda e rasara siddhanta, svarupa gosai macha janara ekanta. This conclusion of rasa is extremely deep. Only Svarup Damodar knows much about it. Yeba keta anya jari seo tanahaite Chaitanya Gosai Teya Atyanta Marmayate. Anyone who claims to know it must have heard it from him, for he was the most intimate companion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Svarup Damodar. And do we know Svarup Damodar in Krishna Leela? Lalita, yes. And that's why when Das Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, came to Mahaprabhu for instruction, and Mahaprabhu put him under the care of Svarup Damodar, and Das Goswami perhaps feeling a little, I've came to you, but you're putting me on. And Mahaprabhu saying, yes, because what I don't know, Svarup Damodar knows. He knows more than me. Because that was Lalita, the wealth of Srimati Radharani, in the devotee section, he knows. What I don't know, he knows. Go with him. And this Chaitanya Charitamrita itself coming from his notebook, the notebooks of Svarup Damodar. Okay. Gopi Ganer Premera Radha Bhava Nam Vishuddha Nimala Prema Kabu Nahi Kam. The love of the gopis is called Rudha Bhava. It is pure and spotless. It is not at any time lust. Kabu Nahi Kama. And then we have a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That Kaviraj Goswami is quoting. Premaiva Goparamanam, Premaiva Goparamanam, Kama Ityagamat Pratham, Ityudavadayo Pietam, Vanshati Bhagavat Priyaha. The pure love of the gopis has become celebrated by the name lust. The dear devotees of the law, headed by Sri Uddhava, desire to taste that love. Kama prema dohankara vibhina lakshana, laho arahema yaiche svarupe vilakshana. Lust and love have different characteristics, just as iron and gold have different natures. Atmendriya pritivansha tarabali kama, Krishnandriya pritiyeche dhari premanama. Catch any of that? Catch any of that? Atmendriya Pritivanshatara Bali Kama, Krishnandriya Pritiyecha Premanama. Indriya is the senses. So, the desire to gratify one's own senses, Atmendriya, is kama, lust. But the desire to please the senses of Krishna, Krishnandriya, is prema. Simple. Simple, simple. Kamara tatparya nija samboga kevala, Krishna sukha tatparya matra, prema taprabala. The object of lust is only the enjoyment of one's own senses, but love caters to the enjoyment of Lord Krishna, and thus it is very powerful. But love caters to the enjoyment of Lord Krishna, and thus it is very powerful. Okay, now 3 verses together, but they're directly from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Loka dharma, Veda dharma, Deya dharma, karma, Laja dharya, Deya shuka, Atma shuka mama, Dusyaja aryapata nija parijana, Svajane karai yata shidharana bhatshana, Sava tyaga kari kare Krishna rabhajana, Krishna shuka hetu kari prema sevana. Okay, social customs, scriptural injunctions, bodily demands, fruitive actions, shyness, patience, bodily pleasures, self-gratification, and the path of varnashram dharma, which is difficult to give up. The gopis have forsaken all these, as well as their own relatives and their punishment and scolding, for the sake of serving Lord Krishna. They render loving service to him for the sake of his enjoyment. So they've given up social customs, scriptural injunctions, bodily demands, fruitive actions, shyness, patience, bodily pleasures, self-gratification, the path of Varnashram Dharma. They've given up their own relatives who are punishing and scolding them, everything for the sake of serving Lord Krishna. Iyate kahiye Krishna dridha anuraga svacha dauta vastrayaicha nahi konadaga. This is called firm attachment to Lord Krishna. Anuraga. Dridha anuraga. Strong attachment. It is spotlessly pure, like a clean cloth that has no stain. Hare Krishna. Ataiva kama prema bahuta antara. Kama andatama prema nirmala bhaskara. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. Hare Krishna is a famous verse. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. Ataiva gopi gana nahi kama ganda. Krishna sukha lagi marcha. Krishna se sambandha. Thus there is not the slightest tint of lust in the gopis' love. Their relationship with Krishna is only for the sake of his enjoyment. And then the next verse is from the 10th canto, 31st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by the gopis when Krishna left them in the midst of the Rasa Leela. Yatte sujata charanam buruhum staneshu vitashana priyadhadi mahika karkasheshu te natavim atashitad vyatate naking svit kupadi bhe brahmati dhya bhavad ayusham naha. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Then Kaviraj Goswami continues, Atma shuka dukke gopira nahika vichara Krishna sukha heto chesta mano vyavahara. The gopis do not care for their own pleasures or pains. All their physical and mental activities are directed towards offering enjoyment to Lord Krishna. Krishna lagi arasaba kare parityaga, Krishna sukha hetu kare shuddha anuraga. They renounced everything for Krishna. They have pure attachment to giving Krishna pleasure. And the next verse, to balance the previous one, is from the 32nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken by Lord Krishna when he returned to the arena of the Rasa Leela. Evam madato jita loka veda svanam ivo maya anuvataye balaha maya poruksham bhajata tirohitam mashuitam mahatta tat priyam priyaha. O my beloved gopis, you have renounced social customs, scriptural injunctions, and your relatives for my sake. I disappeared behind you only to increase your concentration upon me. Since I disappeared for your benefit, you should not be displeased with me. Hare Krishna. Krishnara pratigya ekka ache purva haite Yeyache bhaje Krishna tare bhajataiche. Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with his devotees according to the way they worship him. And then he quotes where that promise is coming from the Bhagavad Gita. Ye yata mam prapadyante tangs tataiva bhajamyaham mamavat manuvatante manushya partha savasaha. In whatever way my devotees surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Hare Krishna. Wonderful shloka. So Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with his devotees according to the way they worship him. Se pratigya bhanga haila gopira bhajane tahate pramana Krishna shrimukha vachane. That promise has been broken by the worship of the gopis, as Lord Krishna himself admits. He's going to admit it now again from the 32nd chapter of Bhagavatam, spoken by Krishna himself when he returned to the gopis upon hearing their songs of separation. Napadaye hang niravaja samyujam swasadu krityam vibudayushapi vaha ye mabhajan durjaya geya shrinkalaha sangvrishya tadva pratiyatu sadhuna. O gopis, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within the lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Then Kaviraj continues, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami continues, Tabiye dakia gopira nija deya prita seyota krishnera lagi janiha nishchita. Now, whatever affection we see the gopis show in their own bodies, know it for certain to be only for the sake of Lord Krishna. E deha kailonami Krishna samarpana tana dhana tana iya samboga sadhana. The gopis think, I have offered this body to Lord Krishna. He is the owner, and it brings him enjoyment. E deya dharshana sparshe Krishna santoshana e lagi kari dehera marjana bhushana. Krishna finds joy in seeing and touching this body. It is for this reason that they cleanse and decorate their bodies. Now we have another verse from the Adi Purana, spoken by Lord Krishna. Nirjangam apiya gopyo mameti samupasate tabyang param name partha niguda prema bhajanam. O Arjuna, there is no greater receptacles of deep love for me than the gopis, who cleanse and decorate their bodies because they consider them mine. Hare Krishna. He continues, Ada eta adbhuta gopi bhavara svabhave buddhya gochara nahe yahara prabhava. There is another wonderful feature of the emotion of the gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. Gopigana Kariye Krishna Darashana Shuka Vancha Nahi Shuka Haya Koti Guna. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss. Although they have no desire for such pleasure. Gopika Dashane Krishna Ye Ananda Hoya Taha Haite Koti Guna Gopi Asvadaya. The gopis taste a pleasure 10 million times greater than the pleasure Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. Srila Prabhupada says, the wonderful characteristics of the gopis are beyond imagination. They have no desire for personal satisfaction, yet when Krishna is happy by seeing them, that happiness of Krishna makes the gopis 1,000,000 times more happy than Krishna himself, or 10 million, koti. Tansavara nahi nija sukha anurodha, tatapi badhaya sukha parila viroda. The gopis have no inclination for their own enjoyment, and yet their joy increases. That is indeed a contradiction. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We're still working on this reason. We haven't actually got to the conclusion of it yet, but it's already 10 to 8, so maybe we should leave it there, because I think it goes on a little bit. Yeah, it's going on because the glories of the gopis are unending. So I don't think we're going to reach the sort of conclusion of this third reason today. So we can leave it there. Krishna. It's easier when you're reading to stay with it. Hare Krishna. Anyway, so we're going to bow to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, to Srimad Mahaprabhu, to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, to Swarup Damodar Goswami, and to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for today, and then we will continue tomorrow with this wonderful thing, wonderful scripture, wonderful chapter, and then today we'll just read one section or two from Amnaya Tattva, but I think I lost my place. Oh no, but perhaps not. Okay, no. So we heard yesterday in this, in Revealed Truth, about the position of the devotee. We heard about Parvati and Shiva, and she's asking him what's the best worship, and she's saying Vishnu, and she's feeling sad because she's not worshipping, she is, but she's worshipping Shiva. And then Lord Shiva says, well, I'm not saying that I'm a devotee, but I am a devotee. So then she feels satisfied. It's very funny. She says, I can't say that I'm a devotee, but I am a devotee. So then she feels happy that she's serving the Vaishnava. So Gurudev is making this point. Through surrender to Krishna's devotee, gradually all property will come to us. Very easily and very suddenly, all spiritual quality and qualification, which is very rare to receive, will appear in your heart. The Srimad Bhagavatam says, Guru Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Shri Gurudev. The Bhagavatam says, Guru Shushrushraya Yata. Guru Shushrushraya Yata. Service to Guru Vaishnava is our line of progress. When we have the proper mood of surrender, then we will engage in the practices of devotion under the guidance of a proper sadhu. So that's where that was the theme yesterday, the section, mostly that, the position of the Vaishnava. And this next little section is called connecting with the pure flow. Connecting with the pure flow. Atashi Krishna namadi na bhaved grayam indriya. We cannot see Krishna's divine form or hear his divine name. If we try to go to Krishna directly, overstepping the sadhu, we will never see Krishna's real form. We will only go down into the garbage of illusion, sahajaism, again and again. It is necessary to understand what the holy name of Krishna is and what it is not, if we actually want to chant the holy name. From our mundane position, we do not understand Krishna, but he can reveal himself in our heart if we try to connect with him with love, affection, chastity, and sincerity through the proper channel of his devotee. The holy name appears in this world as the transcendental vibration form of the Lord. And that transcendental vibration appears through the channel of Guru Parampara, through the heart of the Sadhu Vaishnava. Only a pure mood of devotion can inspire the holy name to descend. So if we connect ourselves with a devoted servitor of the Lord who has the pure mood of chanting, we can also come into connection with the Lord's holy name. If we can receive the holy name from our Gurudev and remember the mood and process in which our Gurudev and the great Vaishnavas chanted the holy name, then the holy name will gradually reveal himself in our hearts. On our own, we are not qualified to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but through the connection, inspiration, and guidance of the sadhu, the mood and qualification to perfectly chant the holy name will come to us. And then proper conception is the last section we'll read today. It's called proper conception. And he's talking about Srila Gorky Das Babaji Maharaj, whose appearance day, I think it was. We just celebrated a week or two ago. We had Gorky Das Babaji's. Can't remember whether it was appearance or dismiss. Srila Gorky Das Babaji Maharaj was a very highly elevated sadhu with a very renounced mentality. He was always deeply connected with the Lord's eternal pastimes in the transcendental world and feeling separation from Krishna. He lived in isolation from society and sometimes would call out to the Lord spontaneously. He was a pure Vaishnava who chanted the pure holy name. And we heard from Goswami Maharaj on that day, and it was very wonderful. Some of the unlimited glories of Gorky Das Babaji, and he said he was a little foolish really, but he was kind of glad he asked, because then he got to hear Guru Maharaj's answer when he asked, talking about the Shiksha Parampara and how it moves around. And he asked, what is the contribution of Gorky Das Babaji Maharaj to the Sampradaya? And Guru Maharaj just looked at him and said, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Is that okay? Enough. So once someone heard the glories of Babaji Maharaj, Gorky, and began to imitate him, That person built a hut near Babaji Maharaj and began copying the practices and activities of Babaji Maharaj. When Babaji Maharaj heard of this, he said that this man should not become an imitationist. He said to him, "You are chanting the Lord's name and living in a hut, but you are not really chanting to please the Lord. You are seeking name and fame, pratishna in this world. You are trying to become famous as a perfected, saintly person, Siddha Mahapurusha. And for that purpose, you are chanting and showing yourself in this way. Your activities will neither be successful nor give you proper devotional results." So Babaji was being very merciful to him and telling him, you won't be successful and it won't give you devotion. And then he said, and Swami Maharaj told this story. This is Gorkishore Das Babaji speaking. If an unmarried woman goes to a labor room to produce a child and shows so many symptoms of giving birth, will a child be born? Never. First, a woman is married, then she mixes with her husband, then she becomes pregnant, then a baby begins to grow in her womb, and then after 280 days, she will produce a child. When the time comes for the woman to give birth, it will not be necessary to tell her, "Now you should go to the labor room." Like an unmarried woman going to the labor room, you have foolishly moved into a hut and begun to show the others that you are chanting, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." You may show many symptoms of ecstasy or renunciation, but your activities will not produce anything real. You don't have any real connection with Krishna or Krishna Nam. You have not served any of Krishna's devotees or understood that their devotional mood of chanting. You are only pursuing your mundane fame. And then Gurudev says, this is a very hard but also very clear example to us. If we are sincere and actually want to satisfy Krishna through our devotional life, then we will always try to serve him under the guidance of our Gurudev in the association of sadhus. Pretty clear? Pretty clear coming from Gurudev. There's something at the side here. Oh, but that's the next section. Oh, it's after 8. Okay. Well, I think we all need to start moving around, I think, and jumping up and down, and doing things in that kind of... Don't you pull your hat down as well. Hare Krishna. So, anyway, everyone's meditating deeply on the purport of the shlokas of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Amnaya Tattva, Revealed Truth, wondrous book of wondrous heart substance that Gurudev Guru Maharaj emphasizing time and time and time and time again. The holy name is not what you can hear. This spiritual life is not a data transmission. Gurudev, it's a heart transaction. It's heart, spiritual, transcendental heart substance. To put it in the box is very difficult. It lives in the heart of the devotees, of the pure devotees. And it is, everything is miracle, Prabhu, Gurudev would say. It is miraculous. It is beyond imagination, heavy with wonder and shining in the hearts of those living in pure goodness. So we're hearing these wonderful things in the morning, and so we're very happy. And then we'll sing. You can sing, Didi. You can sing Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Rama Shri Madhusudana. Girirani Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanda. Radha Radha Srivasari Gauravata Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Madara Gunata. Jiva Gopala Madara Gunata. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana. Jai Jnana Shastra Purana. Jai Gosai Bhumitana. Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Ju ki jai. Jai Sabarika Shishi Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ju ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Swami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki jai. Shri Sad Goswami ki jai. Shri Swarup Damodar ki jai. Shri Ramananda Rai ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Maharaj Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Srila Bhakti Pavanjanad Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Kushum Ashram Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vijay Trivikram Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Bimal Abhadup Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. And Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. All the East London devotees ki jai. All the West London devotees ki jai. All the world devotees ki jai. Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Go to Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Go Premanande, Hari Bol.